Sound the bell, school's in. Alright. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the studio, as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with Scholarch Montichaigne, I suppose. And thank him for coming to our rescue in the rostra. They actually said his name out loud in one of the cutscenes, but I don't remember how it went. As it turns out, he would come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we had already departed for Thavnair. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we were still waiting for Ishtola and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? Yes. Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphino can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to Phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for a time. That might be for the best. Oh no. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Graha can come with us. Why are we leaving Graha here? Unlike some of the Scions, I'm not an alumni of the studium. As such, I have no acquaintances that I am obliged to visit. And while I would love nothing more than to pore over the many great tomes of Phenomenon, I fear my presence there would stir up more unwanted trouble. So for now, I will be patient, much as it pains me to do so. Alphino, what are you doing?
Practicing with his new toys.
Yeah, talk to me. If father can master these fiendish contraptions, then so can I! Oh, he's determined. Look at his face. He's like, I'm going to learn how to use these new liths.
Yeah, and he summoned the training dummy.
Oh yeah, he did! Alphino is so determined. Alize? Talk to me, girl. Heading out for a stroll? No, we are going to the studium. The Scholarch himself was here? In that case, what are we waiting for? I'm too eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Often awful people worrying over his reputation. And at our alma mater, no less. Will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go! Are we going to learn about more of his embarrassing stories in the studium? It feels like only yesterday that I first walked through these doors. Alize? See that sculpted picture above the entrance? That's the mark of Thaliak, the scholar, bearer of the waters of knowledge. It's no exaggeration to say that Sharlayan itself is one enormous shrine to him, and that's especially noticeable here in the studium. Here it is, Phenomenon! While I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you have been here on official business, correct? Yeah, we came here before, but don't mind us. While most of the space is taken up by the expensive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices, and so forth. As the center of what would later become the studium, it was established to promote the study of etherological phenomena, hence the name. Though with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life, and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th Astral Era, Phenomenon was decreed complete, and the studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it's without question the world's leading authority in etherology, the arcane, the occult, astromancy, and countless other fields, standing proud at Alphino's stop with the advertisement. Sharlayan's foremost educational institute! Is this something they teach? To say? It feels like that. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I have long since lost track of how many times he has recited that same foppish speech. Such is his undying love for his old stamping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the studium. Well, you were as well, Alize. Graduated with highest honors in magical arts and etherology. Undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on. You both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prodigious scholars. Yeah. Nice of you to say. But Alphino actually entered half a year before me. Ah! But they are still the youngest people who entered the studium. Apparently, Alphino just entered a little bit earlier. Nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors, and I'm certainly not the studium's most notorious master debater. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow? If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Leveilleur began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully, you will be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphino, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. I'm so happy about this, for some reason. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholarch Montichaigne. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they have seen him. Excitable student. A little Lalafell. A little potato. What are you doing? Why are you so nervous? That was Alphino Leveilleur, wasn't it? The Alphino Leveilleur?
The Alphino.
And he's with his sister and Master Baldessian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word.
That's why he's nervous.
That's why, yeah, he's nervous. You have the right of it, though. Have you seen the Scholarch? Oh, sorry, you said you're looking for the Scholarch, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere. But Miss Aliapo should have a better idea. Aliapo?
Aliapo?
How many Aliapos are around in this world? Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? You're very wrong, actually. Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searcher's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books! Well, this is Sharlayan, of course, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal in here at Searcher's Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If you don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Paisa this. What? Why are you taking the Eye of a Paisa? I feel so sorry for the creatures right now. It's enough to make your hair stand on end, which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you will have your work cut out for you. But I think you'll find it quite rewarding. I am not a gleaner. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the scholars' whereabouts. I love that! I've tracked down many miscellaneous knickknacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. I will say the first one, it's perfect. Where is he? I beg your pudding? Oh no! You are Zloi's cousin or something? You know, the lady in Idleshire that you build an orphanage with? And Chloe is her sister, actually, where you get the Wondrous Tales book. And Zloi always eats pudding. You're not a gleaner? Then this was all an elaborate ruse? No, wait. Come to think of it, you never actually claimed to be one in the first place. My mistake.
Okay, if you choose the second option.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you're not a gleaner? Yes, that's exactly what you said, isn't it? And you're looking for a scholar. I'm afraid we don't have any of those in stock, but I can... Oh, you Yay!
He's stuck. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Oh my goodness, no! In the time it's taking me to tell you all of this, the Scholarch has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you will need it. Yes, the Scholarch was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. Cutscene time.
Ah, I remember you.
In the mountains! No, the wrong game.
No.
Definitely wrong game. Hello, we are all
I pray
here.
we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Yes, we like you already very much, old man. And he was Louisoir's friend, so...
Well, I could hardly let that Inquisition go unchallenged.
Inquisition.
I've
yeah.
always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Yeah, it was still a win-win situation.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
But we were not there.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galef and Louisoir in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye.
Aww.
You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student.
He's talking about Ishtarla, isn't he?
Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, I would love to have that actually.
What?
Wink! This is a lovable old man. I like him very much.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the forum must fulfill?
Can he even tell us that?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the forum, I am sworn to secrecy.
I thought as much.
But
Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried.
What?
okay.
Is there some kind of spell on them?
Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore,
Oh.
if the particulars were made public, it would incite...
I have an idea. There was a guy in the forum when we were being in that trial kind of thing
Yeah.
that tried to say something but got choked.
Okay, so you think it's an
And he
enchantment of
says,
some sort?
and he says, even if I want to, I can't tell you. So I think they have some kind of spell on them that prevents them from talking about that, whatever duty it is.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment.
Just 1 second
Prevents
later.
us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the forum.
Yep.
How is that even possible?
Oh no.
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
I love your rings, man. Or whatever that is. And I want that dress. I want it. Are we literally taking class?
Yes.
We are. May I ask a question? Oh, that's convenient. They're so excited.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology.
Mm-hmm.
The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into 3 forms.
I'm listening.
2 are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
Can I corporeal ether. Of course it is. I know the answer to this stuff.
Yes, very good.
I am a scholar. Of course I know. I just don't have the tattoo, or I never came to Sharlayan. Don't mind me.
This is the form with which the layman is most familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change.
Mm-hmm.
The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it.
Welcome to the studio? Yes.
Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well.
This will probably end up being something important.
In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale.
Oh, I
some
know!
time ago.
Vast scale!
And what might that have been?
The Calamity! Nobody remembered the Warriors of Light? I think it might be the answer. May I? Hello?
The 7th Umbral Calamity.
Ah, come on, Alfino, I knew the answer!
The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm.
I want to use my knowledge of the lore.
She's like, me.
me. I'm like Hermione, like, me. I know the answer.
But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation.
Oh, so they are against memory manipulation, unless it is for their own use. Those bastards.
Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace.
Are you sure about that? Because I'm not.
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed.
Okay.
Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty.
9/10. That's a lot of people. Oh,
Barring
no.
that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For then be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean.
Hmm.
And our memories drift apart and dissolve. Rather defeating the purpose, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
Oh yeah, like the memory that triggers the echo, you know, the star shower and such. I know the answer to that. Look at my face.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable.
This was a very enlightening lecture. And look at me, I'm enlightened. I couldn't take the screenshot on time.
Well, I think that's enough education for today. Now that I've given you some food for thought, or rather, an entire banquet.
Oof.
I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you.
What
I'll
resources?
arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend.
Thank you. He called me friend already. I love him.
Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
I really want to know if she's connected somehow to Zloy. I am 100% sure she is. Mentioning that pudding and stuff.
He has to be.
While Scholarch Montichaigne is best known for his role as head of the studium, he is said to be one of the finest mages Sharlayan has ever produced. Having seen for myself the ease with which he weaves extraordinarily complex and powerful magics, I have no reason to doubt his claim. Some of my earliest memories are of Scholarch Montichaigne, actually. He was a close friend of our grandfather. He would come for tea and amaze us with his tricks, much like his demonstration with the paper and ink. He's a huge part of why I wanted to enter the studium in the first place. Trial? Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we are one step closer to understanding the Forum's true motives, and the mysteries of life itself, for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. Yeah. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way, you could better acquaint yourself with Ki Aliapo, as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. Okay, we need to talk to everyone. Avino? Estinine returned not long after we had departed for the studium. A shame that he missed the chance to attend our lecture with the Scholarch, or perhaps not. I don't think he would like that, actually. Having spent most of the time in Thavnir, I have yet to fully grasp the lie of the land here in Sharlayan. Even finding my way to the annex proved a challenge. Oh, come on. Trial? It seems I've done an adequate job of relaying Scholarch Montichaigne's lecture to Raha. Given his experiences in the field of souls and memories, he had no trouble understanding it. Well, yeah. You'd better not let your guard down around Key. One small favor becomes another, then another, and before you know it, you'll be running to the other side of the world in search of a bottle of wine or some other rubbish. Then again, it might make for a welcome change of pace from your usual heroics, and as the scholar said, it could also lead to interesting discoveries. Ah, welcome back! From what I hear, your trip to the stadium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the Warding Scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limzalaminza. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Wilbrand. Yes. Nod. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Oh. Estinian is like, okay. Am I going to carry stuff now? Sure, why not? I bet Kryl carried none of those.
Oh, they are bigger than hair.
I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. Oh, she did carry, apparently. I shouldn't complain though. Ritra and the alchemists of the Great Work put their heart and soul into each and every one of those scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Ah? Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I have little choice but to stay behind. We are already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies.
Okay, new Tataru.
With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. To Limzalaminza! Let's go. Will there be anyone to speak here? But Kryl is here. If you learn aught of interest, be sure to let me know. In the meantime, I will do what I can to aid our cause, though I fear that will be precious little given the circumstances. Ah, I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer and the Sultana. 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Ah, just get me inside. Voiced? No. My apologies for calling you away from Sharlayan at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. Alfino, you know these people for a long time. Stop with your antics. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it's only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It's reassuring to learn we are all in accord.
Alfino, always a diplomat.
Yeah, but might I ask what your plan entails? Going to Garlemald? Probably. It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Sharlayan, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of kobolds, Sahagin, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Radzatan has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace. And it is you, the scions of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. With the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telephoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilsabard Contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Yes. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. I love this. They're like, yeah, the Garlean Empire is like our enemy, has been for a long time, but we are not going to make the people of Garlemald suffer for that. I love that. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they serve the Teleforoi's every whim without question. They too are victims. It's our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it's the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation. Only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Huliandel observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there is reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we had failed to make any headway. Though the same could be said of the Televoroi, there's certainly no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Ishtola's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it's not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. You go, girl! That's all well and good. But what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard Contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Are you joking? Am I going to punch someone in the face? Then I'm in. Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. Yes. Are we punching someone? For honor and glory. For the people of Garlemald. For revenge against the Teleforoi. Ah, this is hard to choose.
For the Horde.
No, not for the Horde. Oh, I'm punching my palm. That's good. Couldn't have put it better myself. Stola, Thancred and Huliandel have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Ala Mhigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Well, Ala Mhigo is the closest to Garlean Empire, so. Roban and Lord Emeric are overseeing preparations. Oh, Emeric! So I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Okay. Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telephori so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They are not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. Thank you. Let's go! Estinian. If Emeric asks after me, say I'm getting on fine and leave it at that. Don't you dare breathe a word about the cord! Oh my goodness! Estinian's like, please don't tell Emeric anything! Graha? I must quiz Thancred and Urianger on the conditions we can expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Will I need to keep my ears covered? Oh, they can be a bit sensitive at times. Well, you're used to having your ears covered. Like 100 years. So it shouldn't be a problem. For now. I'll admit, this is all rather daunting, though not quite in the way I was expecting. We'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance's finest. The best of the best. The warrior of light and, well, me. Alfino, don't get cocky, please. It's silly, I know. Perhaps this is my way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about, marching into Garlemald. Alize? You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who has been selected for the Ilsabard Contingent. I have a few people in mind. Care to make a friendly wager? Maybe. Emeric is here. Hi, Emeric. Fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a scion? Destinian. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he would go, like a gale cat swept up in a strong breeze. But rest assured, he'll always be there when you need him. Probably. Probably doesn't sound the best. Raban! I'm here, Raban. Talk to me. The Wanderer's return. You have been busy, bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emeric be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard Contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid onto the Guardians has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, although I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I have battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emeric's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again! Much has occurred since we parted ways in Werlit. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. Are you not coming? So you're not coming with us. Strange, I thought you would have a stake in this. I do. The Telophoroi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varys and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Actually, yes, I actually want you to be the new leader of Garlemald. Funny enough, old enemy, new friend. Whether I'm branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. Come with us, please! Is there no option to say come with us? Wait, we will deliver your people from harm in your stead. I doubt they will be pleased to see the champion of Eorzea set foot on Garlean soil. They will be very pleased. Or I understand, Whirlit is in your hands.
This is a special option.
This is a special option because you didn't do the Whirlit quest line.
Yes.
I did. So this is a special option, so I'm going to choose that one. And I will defend it to my dying breath. He's smiling. After the sacrifices my sons and daughters made, I can do no less. I and the government of Whirlit intend to offer refuge to those fleeing Garlemald. Should that time come, we will be ready. In light of Gaius' rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I will stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two. If I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. That's the only thing you're saying? Like,
to the rest of the guys as well.
I will, like, not, I'm glad to see you. I am so happy that you're here. I missed you, warrior of light. No? No? Okay. Alizé. I suppose it's easy for some people to forget there are civilians in Garlemald, too, when the only Imperials they have ever known are soldiers. Well, yeah, you have a point, Alphino. With the knowledge that our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may devote our attention to the Ilsabardian front. Draha? So that's Gaius Balzar. The horrors he must have seen. Many of his own making, I do not doubt. Yeah. Estinian? Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varys' murder, though I'm rather less recognizable on sight. Still, it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. Yeah. Emmerich? I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with a lunar primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. Ah, it would seem she too continues to wage war against the Telephoroi. Once we have seen the contingent on its way, I'll return to my duties here in Ala Mhigo. As many of our most capable will be traveling with you to Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I do not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. The other members of the Ilsabard Contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you're ready. I am ready. Let's go. If I can click on the guy. The remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Ilsabard Contingent await you within. Would you like to... Yes. Yes, I would like to.
By the 12.
What? Oh. Oh, hello. Pippin is here. Alka-Zolka? My job NPCs! Job quest
I hope you
NPCs!
don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As
the
you
job
can imagine,
NPCs.
our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose.
I know most of them.
We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard Contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Hi, Lucia. You're coming with us too.
Lucia.
Has
I've
Gaius
come at the
seen
behest of
you?
Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end.
I wonder if Gaius saw her. You know why? You know that she looks very much like Livia.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Yes, we will. Alphinaud, we will.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company.
I don't think we will need introduction.
Everyone! If I may have your attention.
Yes, lady. Hi! Hi, everyone. I know all of you. You're my job givers, job quest givers.
Might I ask you to speak first?
Yeah. Hello.
If I must.
If I must. Seriously. Seriously, this is kind of Senna's brother, by the way. You do quests with him with the white mage job.
I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer, we shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild.
And this is the
with
Bard
order of
quest
the Twin
line
Elders
NPC
Finest
on the right.
serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying
Special
us as well,
dialogue!
those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
They are probably going to have special dialogues for me all the time.
Oh.
Suppose I'd better say
Sigurd?
my piece.
The pirate guy that we dealt with. The bloody executioners.
Wait, I know you.
Yeah, we all know him.
The name's Sigurd, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd
Everyone
rather
else is
had.
laughing.
Alka, I know him very well because I'm a scholar and the scholar questline was actually quite fun. Quite good.
Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hillfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me.
Well, I don't know, maybe you are his right hand?
Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do.
He has changed. That beating.
Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy.
And the guy on the right is the warrior questline guy.
Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Wow, Scard had a few lines to
You're
say.
certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Ala Mhigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest.
This is the monk questline lady.
If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
Hey, Pippin is coming with us. And the thaumaturgists, they are sending me kisses. What?
Time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction.
That's what Urianger said at the end of 5.3.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us.
I love them.
And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
I love them. Urianger looking at his cards like nothing is happening.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead.
But then again, if you did all of the jobs, this conversation would probably last for an hour.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilsabard Contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require.
Thank you, Lucia. Much appreciated.
The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission.
Yeah, Stefanovian is here, I think.
Tech is sure to be a great
Yeah,
boon.
he's
They
here.
will address any problems of a technical nature together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa.
Hi, guys.
There is another awaiting introduction.
Oh no, I'm in a lane!
There's another.
Is he joining us too? Oh no!
Yes, Emmanuel de Forton, at your service.
Please don't die like your brother. No, I don't want to lose another for Tom. Please don't.
Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Oh no! The theatrics, oh no!
The pain.
Look at my face, I'm like, may your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom. I'm choosing that one. Was that all? Little?
I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring do.
Oh no.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea.
Lucia is so fed up with his antics.
Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Can they enter now?
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Yeah, probably.
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Oh? Equally capable company of warriors? Who do you mean?
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Uh-oh. Oh, Sadu!
Oh,
oh no! Oh no!
Yes. Little son.
Little son! Hi, Serena.
Thank you for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
That she did.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach.
She's so pissed that she's not able to go into the towers.
But now our thirst for slaughter.
Oh, calm down.
No quarter to the enemy.
Calm down.
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Oh, that will not stop her.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it's Dalmasca. Alright.
And the Bosnian resistance.
And the Bosnian resistance, yes.
Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Ala Mhigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire.
Indeed.
I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald.
Mm-hmm.
And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused.
Yeah, I can't blame them though.
Not only in Ala Mhigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy.
Exactly.
But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all.
Indeed.
Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Gaius bloody Balezar himself is working to help rebuild Whirlit, a nation he once conquered.
Yeah, he is doing that, yeah. Thanks to us.
So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good.
That was just a... the Whirlit thing was just for you, I didn't see that one.
It won't be easy. But we're all determined to make this world a better place.
Aye, aye, Liz.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy.
Okay, what are we doing?
To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range.
Okay.
Fortunately, Garlemald Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey.
Are we going to see Cid? Please tell me we are going to see Cid.
However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glacies.
Magna Glacies.
From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
Okay. I think we can do that.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Oh, I am ready. Don't worry, Lucia.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Yes, hurrah! Now I need to talk to everyone. Alka, I'm going to leave you to the last. Just saying. Magnai, let's start with you.
Little son.
With them all, champions of the Nadam, and the Dotharl having sent so many here, I had thought to defend the steppe in their absence. And I would have done so were it not for my stepbrothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them on to victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral, Dotharli dog, as first among my brothers I could do no less than accept this challenge. My deeds will become the stuff of legends. I bet Sadu has something to say about you. I care not for the Iron Man or their troubles. It's the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I have agreed. I volunteered to join this band at Serena's request, and if she thinks it a worthy cause, that's reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the steppes oafish man could dream to be. I see. Serena? I'm glad to see you well, Alia. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. Uh-oh. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer. And as they danced, the world fell to ruin. In blinding chaos, she spied blackened silhouettes and knew at once that one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveler. Allow me to express my deepest gratitude for your role in liberating Bosja. Me and my countrymen owe you more than we can ever hope to repay. Now that our dream has finally been realized, Balsazian has seen fit to send a few of us to join this expeditionary force. I hope our skills will be of use. Thank you, Rostek. Let me have a look at you. A touch nervous to enter the battlefield, perhaps? Well, I shall be out there alongside you as a temple knight serving with your fine Wen. Though I may not look it, I was the Azure Dragoon once upon a time, so you can rest assured I will give all that I have in the coming fight. I certainly won't be shown up by you or Estinian. Are you sure about that? It's thanks in no small part to you that the manufacturer's future is looking brighter than ever, my friend. I'm pleased to report that I and a handful of my colleagues have been selected to join the contingent. This is the machinist one, by the way. Ere the expedition has ended, even the Temple Knights will be singing our machinist's praises, once they have borne witness to not only our mechanical proficiency, but our combat prowess, too, of course. Well, well! If I'd known what a social gathering this would turn out to be, I would have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems the perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Serena and Sadi of the Steppe? Don't, Emma Elaine, don't. Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of that fellow with the enormous axe.
Little son? Oh, well,
Yeah.
Amalian, sorry, you don't have the balls to speak to them.
Don't. Sadu can just destroy you within a second.
Yeah.
I cast my lot with the Populares to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories, that all may be united in common cause. But we were disparaged as a radical element. Dissenters looking to destabilize the empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. Oh no, your parents died because you joined the Populares? I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. As for the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I hold out hope that one day that dream will become reality. Oh, I'm sorry, Maxima. Lucia? I have led troops into battle many a time, but never units with such a diverse range of talents. While I have been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you could provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I would appreciate any advice you may have. Chichito! Hello! How are you doing? I'm so glad I found you. I have for you a letter from Master Hammond. Let's read it together, shall we? Oh no. Now, let's see here. I have every confidence that your fists shall bring the Telephoroid to their knees. And should you espy any beautiful maidens thereabouts, perhaps sing to them my praises? I knew this would come. When she said that there's a letter from the master.
Right.
Charming, master. Well, more fool me for thinking that that letter would contain something actually inspiring. Let's just forget this note exists and focus on the battle ahead. It seems so long ago we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Azim Steppe with Serena and the others. I'd say that we are overdue for another adventure. Ah, it brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We have been through so much together. Good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will be mostly the latter, but I'd like to believe we will look back on these days more fondly in the years to come. But for that to happen, we will have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, eh? Often his father told me of the struggles faced by Ala Mhigo in the days of the occupation, and I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, Her Grace has elected to bolster the Ilsabard Contingent with members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are one in our commitment to the cause. We came as quickly as we could. We would follow our example, follow your example, and devastate the Telophoroi with the full extent of our powers. Worry not for your brothers, Busi. We will return soon enough. Is Busi here? No, he's not here. Ranbar. I'm here to... Oh. This is... I have this much... Because I haven't finished the warrior questline.
Yeah.
I'm here representing the Marauders Guild, and it's my job to keep the Smiths out of harm's way. Mind you, with them hammers of theirs, they can put up a fair fight themselves. With a bit of luck, this will be over and done with before you know it. Maybe when this is all over, you could pay the ex-master a visit. He still tells all the new recruits about the time you killed Kujata and avenged that boy's parents. I remember it like it were yesterday. Until the Empire fell, Guardians were the only ones who we was allowed to impose tariffs upon at sea. Weren't easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty gill. Since they have been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I returned the favor and gave a little something back. In case you were wondering, Eschewa will be staying behind to defend the 12's Wood with my sisters. She was of the opinion she would make a useful addition to our contingent, and was eager to make good on her vow to accompany me as well, which was flattering, but ultimately it was decided that her skills would be better put to use keeping our homeland safe. I am of course obligated to share with her every detail when I return. Hi Samson! Are you okay with Guide-a-lot? Are you two okay? Huh? Our prowess has finally been recognized by the Order of the Twin Edda. Naturally, Guide-a-lot is also here helping us. Whilst his ability as a bard is unmatched, I do worry about his judgment. However, you need not. I shall be keeping a close eye on him, I promise. What are you going to say about this Guide-a-lot? I can't lie to you, Alia. I wasn't entirely for this whole thing when Samson spoke to me. But if it means being your brother in arms, then who am I to pettifog? I shouldn't be so hard on him, I suppose. This bard unit is quite impressive, really. Yes, one must give credit where credit is due. Rather uncouth for one to do otherwise, after all. Okay. Alga? Hi! Greetings, Alia! The time has come for us Marines to show our valor upon the battlefield. All who see us will know of our name and quake before our might. To victory, come hells or high water. This is something you actually say quite a lot of times when you're doing the Scholar questline.
Oh, Scholar, okay.
Yeah. Oh. I did not expect to see the other former Azure Dragoon here of all places. As he well knows, I'm not one for verbose greetings. We shall instead let our lances do the talking once we're on the battlefield. Then we'll see if the other has been diligent in his training. He's talking about Alberic, by the way. Afino. We have been part of joint military operations like this before, and with far greater numbers. But for some reason, this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there is already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I was half expecting to find the man who taught me red magic amongst our number, but he's nowhere to be seen.
Oh yeah, where's the red mage?
Where is he?
Oh.
Stefan is here, but the rest of them are beginner jobs that are not added with any of the expansions.
Right, the dancer is not there as well.
No, it's only Stefan that's here from the expansions as the machinist, but I suppose it's because he comes from Ishgard and they had to put someone from Ishgard here.
Yeah.
But none of the other expansion jobs are here.
Yeah, Dark Knight is not
No.
here either.
Oh, so that he wouldn't come here.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
I suppose he has had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there's some other reason. Maybe they will come up later on somewhere.
Maybe.
Well, in any case, I have a feeling I'll see him once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how much my sword play improved since we last met. Raha? This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest of our allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed, I'm certain of it. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies over our journey's course. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances, who in time shall we come to call our comrades, and mayhap friends. Tancred? I have close ties with the scouts of the Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they are an absolute joy to work with. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telephoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Oh god, I just talked to all of them. Warding scales for the Ishgardian delegation, I take it? But what does it say? These enchanted talismans, or should that be talisman, would probably require considerable less time and effort to produce if the alchemists of the great work were not so preoccupied with making them look pretty. Oh no. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald, sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Emmerich. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. Please? That a set of warding scales I spy? Not that I would know what they look like. Here, take it. Wow, look at these! Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with aether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, they will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I would march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. It's a guard. I hear you've got something for us. Yes, yes I do. Ah, them scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gil or two when this is all over? Excuse me, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send Ainzar instead? Good question. Why not? Ainzar is the guy that is the right hand of Merweb, aka the Mistbeard. So...
Shh,
we don't talk about that, no? Buggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilford told me was they needed someone to help safeguard the future, and here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land, in the middle of the sodding snow of all places. Well, me and my crew will do whatever needs doing, so let's set sail, or however the saying goes on airships. Arun Sena? Yes. There, take it. So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my manners, I see. I myself am especially grateful for this opportunity to visit distant lands. I wish to follow in the footsteps of Master Atova and learn all there's to learn of the star we call home. Indeed, that is the primary reason I volunteered to join the expedition. Are you serious? You were the one who was very much opposing the idea of leaving 12's Wood in the first place. Okay. To journey outside the 12's Wood, much less enter into Imperial territory, is a rare privilege to afforded a Pajal. Not that I'm tagging along to see the sights. The Garleans would benefit from my healing magics, as would our comrades, should fighting break out. And Serena. There you go, girl. We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. Oh, the talismans! We are to keep these close at all times, yes? I will see that no one misplaces theirs. And before I forget, I have a message from Hien. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Othard, has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hien and Yugiri labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid will we keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and the Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war. Do you have a warding scale for me too? Of course! Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice, if I may. We have been told by many to wear the cold of Ilsabard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist's Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Ala Mhigo quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airships. Preparations? I've got my armor and my lance. What more could I need? I see. Raha? Since my revival, I have been lexing in expanding my limited wardrobe. Think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Sharlayan? I recall a rather fetching No, Graha, no.
No time.
Stola? It's something of a constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present garb may be lacking, fur color notwithstanding. Urianger? Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Ul'dan markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficacy. It's said, however, that in recent days the Alchemist's Guild hath produced a tincture capable of such feat. Mayhap the achievements of their Thavnarian counterparts did spur them to action, that they not be put to shame. Oh, maybe. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like these. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. Alizé? If you have nothing you still need to take care of, you better see to it now. I am going to see to it. We are going to Garlemald. I need warmer clothing. That's what I'm going to do. Where is my warmer clothing? We are in Ala Mhigo. No glamour plates. I can't put on my warmer clothing.
Well, you can always use the ring. Come back.
There we go. I need to be warm. So my gloves and my sweater and, well, these are jeans, but please don't count that. And my boots. I am ready for Garlemald. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. Can you not see me? I'm wearing a sweater. You needn't worry about Urianger and I. We still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Esmin claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor, and since he spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you are not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark! Is that the cry of scions in need of a tailor I hear? Oh god, who is it? Is that Tataru? It is Tataru! We are in need of a tailor. But how? I have my ways, oh yes indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsabard without telling me? Nothing escapes my notice. Hey! Now you will wear these garments I have made for you, whether you like it or not. I was wearing a sweater already. You never cease to amaze. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather, the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I have never worn them myself? Well, that's Tataru for you. I did have one other thing to share. Argmus and Bloomwida have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while, to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Sharlayan? Oh, why not? You can keep Kryl company in the Baldessian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I hear Argmus and Bloomwida did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we have nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world. Pointing at Graha with Leon lamps. If anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I'll get a few things to take care of and then I will make my way to Sharlayan. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. Oh, it is literally a coat.